Today, we will briefly cover the following. What is stability testing? Why do we do it? How do we do it? When should we do it? Where should we do it? And finally, who should do it? But first, the good news. There are currently no existing enforceable or uniform protocols anywhere in the world, not even in the EU. If we compare this to the ICH guidelines for human pharmaceuticals, where not only do they have a well-characterized and structured development system, the first 3 production batches are placed onto stability. So we do have it much easier, but the onus is now on us to make sure we have a stable, safe, and packaging compatible product. So what are the basic forms of stability? There are 3 basic forms of stability that should be carried out with each development or considered for any changes. Physical and chemical integrity of the product, microbiological testing of the product, packaging stability, the effect of the packaging on the product, and vice versa. We will briefly cover each one today. Cosmetics and other products naturally degrade over time. And an example of this behavior, over the last few years, I've played around with a number of SPF samples, sunscreen samples. And while they might look good initially and may even survive some of the stability-related testing, I've found that visible degradation can still occur at ambient over time, sometimes after more than a year. And I know it's not practical to hang on to every sample you've ever made, but the more information you have about a formulation or a base, the better the decision will be. Stability is predictive. Apart from the information gained, and from the information gained, we're in a better position to determine product longevity. We should be able to predict the effects of storage in time and how the product interacts with the packaging. We should also have access to information which predicts the effects of regular use, and here the microbiological stability testing is used. So ultimately, what we need to understand is that the product is able to maintain its intended physical, chemical, and microbiological qualities throughout the course of its shelf life. So stability will look at the degradation rate of key ingredients. And here you will be looking at the base as a whole and seeing how it stands up under some stresses. Here you will assess ingredient compatibility, emulsifier selection, preservative and active effects on the base. The ability of the product to resist microbial intrusions. Once a product has been used by the consumer, is the preservative system appropriate for the product with its chosen packaging? The reactivity between the product and the chosen packaging. Don't do your stability in glass and then later on choose plastic packaging. Always try and do stability in the chosen packaging material and ends up as a thin, runny lotion or vice versa. Stability is done to ensure the product will continue to behave as it should throughout the course of its shelf life. So when should we undertake stability testing? When we have new formulations, when we have a new manufacturing process. For instance, what happens if we want to change where the preservative is added? Is it heat stable? What if we want to change how or where a particular gum or active is added? When we have new packaging. Here you might have a product in a tube and then someone decides to put it into a pot. Is the preservative system going to cope? Or I have a real life example that happened in my workplace some years ago. We had a 400 ml exfoliating body wash product, and somebody decided it would be good in a pump at 800 mils. The problem was the exfoliant blocked the pump after a relatively few pumps. Appropriate trials would have picked this up before going to market. When there are new materials, when there is a new fragrance, when there is a new color, when there's a new raw material supplier, a fragrance can change many parameters of the product, including causing it to separate. Different colors can also cause differences in the product. As far as raw material suppliers, they'll all tell you that their material has the same inky name, same CAS number, so it's identical to the previous one. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But at the very least, you should assess it and decide whether or not to do stability. So how do we perform stability?